Welcome to another edition of this assembly with your host of Yahuwah. I am Soya, and I'd like to greet you today, this beautiful day, and get started right away. With that, I'd like to thank the Father for bringing us here today and allowing us to assemble here in this assembly. Let us begin. We last left off in Bere'Shiyth chapter 23, verse 9. Today we're picking up with verse 10. Verse 10 reads, And Avraham dwelt among the children of Keth. And Avraham the Kittite answered Avraham in the audience of the children of Keth, even of all that went in at the gate of his city, saying. Now, I have a question. Were the Kittite, Avraham, were they Caucasians also? Were there paler skinned peoples among them from breeding with Elohim? Because this is important. I don't want you to lose the fact that Avraham was not Caucasian. He was not pale skinned. He was like the father. All right? He probably looked a lot like you, like me. Could have been darker, could have been lighter. I wouldn't imagine he'd have been that much lighter, but he was amongst a people that did not look like him because they did not have the same, let's say, quantity of DNA from the father. Instead, they had the DNA of those sons of Elohim who came down and took the daughters of man, the daughters of the original people who was there, and made it with them and produced offspring that looked like themselves. All right? So let's not get that confused. So I'm just wondering, what was the mix-up, the makeup of the people of Keth? Were they all pale? Were some of them majority? That's just a question I have. All right. All right. Verse 11. Nay, my Lord, hear me. The field I give you, and the cave that is therein, I give it you. In the presence of the sons of my people give I it you. Bury your dead. And Avraham bowed down himself before the people of the land. He spoke unto Ephron in the audience of the people of the land, saying, But if you will give it, I pray you, hear me. I will give you money for the field. Take it of me, and I will bury my dead there. And Ephron answered Avraham, saying unto him, My Lord, hearken unto me. The land is worth 400 shekels of silver. What is that betwixt me and you? Bury therefore your dead. And Avraham hearkened unto Ephron, and Avraham weighed to Ephron the silver, which he had named in the audience of the sons of Keth, 400 shekels of silver, current money with the merchant. And the field of Ephron, which was in Machpelah, which was before Mamre, the field, and the cave which was therein, and all the trees that were in the field, that were all the borders round about, were made sure unto Abraham for possession in the presence of the children of Keth, before all that went in at the gate of his city. And after this, Avraham buried Sarah, his woman, in the cave of the field of Machpelah, before Mamre. The same is Chevron. The same is Kevron, in the land of Canaan. And the field and the cave that is therein were made sure unto Avraham for a possession of a burying place by the sons of Keth. Now, I read all that, even though I didn't take any particular notes, because I wanted to expound on it, let's say, on my own, live. That is to say, Avraham kind of set a precedent for us as a people. We know today that, many people get by without paying full price for a lot of things. We're catching up to that. We're trying to get a deal, trying to get a hookup now. But the sons of Elohim, the Emorim, the Canaanim, these sons of Keth, they've been doing this for hundreds of years. All right. So this scripture verse, it marks Avraham receiving a price from Ephron. All right. in the audience of all his people, or at least a good amount of his people. And Avraham said, okay, I'm not taking anything from you for free, lest you say you did something for Avraham. No, no, no. He got his from Yahuwah Yireh, all right? Yahuwah is enough. Yahuwah is his provider, gives him what he needs. So he said, no, I'll give you that money. So he weighed it out, and he gave it to him and paid for the land at the price that was given him, all right? So when you go into that car dealership, that mortgage meeting where you're trying to buy this house, or you going to buy some clothes or some jewelry, and you find yourself paying full price, you are like Avraham, all right? Not different. It's what our people do. We pay for what we get, even if we're being ripped off. That's okay. You got it in good DNA that, like Avraham, who was considered righteous by Yahuwah, you're paying for what you receive. Yahuwah provides for you. So just keep that in mind. I thought that was a good point to illustrate without reading it, all right? All right. That was a wrap-up of chapter 23. Now we're going to go on over to chapter 24, verse 1. And Avraham was old and well-stricken in age, and Yahuwah had blessed Avraham in all things. And Avraham said unto his eldest servant of his house that ruled over all that he had, put, I pray you, your hand under my thigh. What a weird way to open up the chapter. He told his servant to put his hand under his thigh. I don't know what that was about. You know, even after reading this chapter, that was a weird way to start this. But nonetheless, they point out, first of all, that Avraham was old and well-stricken in age. All right, so however old he was at this time, maybe he was close to his ending age, but he was old. Verse 3, and I will make you swear by Yahuwah, the Elohi of heaven and the Elohi of the earth, that you shall not take a woman unto my son of the daughters of Canaanim, among whom I dwell. This is a very interesting command, because the very first order to not intermix have come from a man of color, a man just like you and me. It would seem so. Avraham was not a Caucasian Jew. He was a dark complexion, a ruddy, reddish-brown skin tone, like Yahuwah, just like you and me. He may have resembled early Native Americans prior to the takeover of North America. It seems likely since he and his family were amongst the chosen generations of Yahuwah. He kept Yahuwah in high esteem and would not want to mix his genes with those of other men who had been corrupted by the genes of other Elohim, the sons of Elohim. He would have wanted to keep Yahuwah's lines as pure as possible. So, it likely was not about their color, as it were. Instead, about not mixing Yahuwah's blood with the corrupted blood of others, further diluting and delineating the lineage of Yahuwah. Now, also I'd like to point out, which is not in my notes also, or should I say either, that Avraham said, and I will make you swear by Yahuwah. All right, so even in this time, they were swearing. All right, this didn't mean that there was cursing, using profane language. This meant that they were making an oath, that they were making a strong oath. And in order to give it weight, in order to give it credibility, he said, swear by the name of Yahuwah, the name above all names. All right? So he had them swear. He had his servants swear. All right, verse 4. But you shall go unto my country and to my kindred and take a woman unto my son Yitzchak. For in his country were his people who were the direct descendants of Noah, who had not been corrupted by the sons of Elohim, or at least maybe they weren't corrupted as much. Nonetheless, he wanted a woman for his son to come from his people, from his land, to his country, from his country rather. Verse 5, and the servant said unto him, Perchance the woman will not be willing to follow me unto this land. Must I needs bring your son again unto the land from whence she came? Verse 6. And Avraham said unto him, Beware that you bring not my son thither again. Other sources says that Avraham had been trained by Elohim in the lands of Ur of the Kasdim. Could that be the reason that he did not want Yitzchak to go there? If so, why would he not want him to possibly interact with these Elohim, considering that they were still there? And also considering that quite possibly these other Elohim, if that were the case, trained other people in his land, and he did not want that coming upon Yitzchak. He wanted to keep him away from that for whatever reason. Just a thought. All right, verse 7. And that phrase, thither again, means back to that source. You know, he left thither. He left his source. So he didn't want Yitzchak going to that source. All right. Verse 7. Yahuwah Elohi of heaven, which took me from my father's house and from the land of my kindred, and which spoke unto me, and that swore unto me, saying, Unto your seed will I give this land. He shall send his angel before you, and you shall take a woman unto my son from thence. The angel will aid him if the woman does not want to go with him. And I don't want to point out too again that he says that Yahuwah Elohi, Yahuwah of heaven. Yahuwah Elohi means Yahuwah my Elohim. Well, it should read Yahuwah my El, but nonetheless, because Yahuwah is only one. All right, he ain't three; he's one. It says Yahuwah Elohi, Yahuwah my El of heaven swore unto me. So even he's saying this is twice now that Yahuwah swore. So understand that when you swear, it's serious. You know, it's not quite like a covenant, though here he's saying swear by the name of Yahuwah, so it's quite serious. All right, verse 8. And if the woman will not be willing to follow you, then you shall be clear from this oath. Only bring not my son thither again. He repeated, Yitzchak had never been to his land, so why did he say bring him not there again if he had? And why does he not want Yitzchak to go to his homeland? Just a little bit of curiosity there. All right, verse 9. And the servant put his hand under the thigh of Avraham his master and swore to him concerning that matter. What was the reason to place his hand under his thigh to swear an oath? I'm curious about that. That's a good one. But also pay attention that before he swore to the oath, before he put his hand under his thigh, he had to ask him some questions. He had to get some clarity. You know, that's important. He didn't want anything lingering when he goes to carry out Avraham's command, his wishes. I hate to say wishes, but his commands. It wasn't a wish. All right. And I wish that I could find a better way to end this song and end it right there. And we will return on the next episode in chapter, what is this again? 24. And we'll start off with verse 10. Until then, I'm your servant, Yahuwah. Hope you enjoy this good day, just like I am. And I will see you next time. Shalom.